How scary it is to want to die. Not the execution when you're in it. That's leisurely, almost natural, like embracing the thrash of alley tunnel wind. It tastes like reason and is shaped like a just goodbye. The real scary part is immediately after, when the choice to live illuminates all the ways you've abused and lost yourself. When you breathe in the quiet horror, it's just like a mother revealed to have beat her child and starved them emotionally. You shudder at how anyone could do such a thing, but the bête noire of it all is yourself. Sometimes, it's like this. 15 years ago, you wandered away from loving hands for a moment and became impossibly lost in harsh terrain. Strangers attacked you. Nothing made sense. Food was scarce, and the bared cutting of the nights withered parts of you away. Some days you swore you'd give it all you had to see a familiar sun. Others, you were certain even the memories of it were a bygone, imaginative comfort, meant to distract from the truth. Death would end the pain. One day you're rescued, wrapped in one of those Chipotle burrito comfort blankets, reunited with your loved ones, given a therapist. But a decade and some change later, you wake up there, now and again. There's no rhyme or reason, no mantras or people to call. One night you were orange light, grown and afar. The next you were back in the wilderness. You're convinced the trees taught you. If only true separation from the past were possible. If only there was a way to stop its endless enmeshment with the present, an invincible, invisible mold. It multiplies in your esophagus. It whispers, death would end the pain, in between the stomach lining. The exhaustion and the back and forth, makes you consider it. It takes a lot not to consider it. So, I consider there's a line to get on Earth. That there's thousands of Polaroid photo albums separated by firewood smells and Mabel lightning. I looked through them. We all did. And much to my dismay, some part of my soul thought torn up truck stop brochures, rusted steel glazed swing sets, and booming music on illegal pastures were the most beautiful things in the world. And much to my joy, some part of my soul thought dirty rainwater, highway overpass cascading foliage, and the sounds of cicadas plucking the instruments of summer wind were too ugly to miss. There's a line to get on Earth, and it takes 10,000 years to reach the flesh assignment unit. Your essence is scanned, and from its raw power, a perfect vessel is built to hold you. Every roll, every skin flare, every follicle, every pocket of fat was perfectly selected for your beauty and comfort. They test every iteration until they reached you, the real you, from which your soul is dried and poured into the vessel. The pouring is delicate. The slightest disruption can cause obsessive spirals after birth, after the great forgetting, and you confuse flesh you for real you. You begin to hold flesh you to expansive soul standards. Those in line chuckle at the silliness. There's a line to get on Earth, and there's no cutting, or quitting, or do-overs. It wouldn't be fair to all the souls in waiting, watching from the viewing room, desperate to taste hard sugar syrup dissolve on tongues and bawl their eyes out drunk dancing on barefoot linoleum. The short length of the journey is a grand controversy among those still in line. Surely 80 years isn't enough time to roll down hills, jump into speeding cars, recreationally argue about where to eat. The complaints department is filled with short ablaze souls grumbling about the trip, that their sensitivity meter was too high, the great forgetting too intense, that they had no way of knowing what they wanted, what they would miss. There were no employees, though, just the space to cry and cry for years and years. And I imagined myself there, crying and begging for another chance to get mid-tasting chips stuck on the roof of my mouth, sharing a duetting laugh for two, a secret between friends in the back of a venue. There's a line to get on Earth, and geographic location is pure lottery. The system doesn't control humans. It doesn't dictate the evils and injustices souls may decide to create after. Sure, the entry interview takes notes on your taste, but it essentially functions absent-mindedly, like an organ, and plops you right where there's space. There's gratitude to be had in the sidewalk cracks, bustling trees, and hazy traffic-like glow of the place you call home. A second later or earlier, and things might have been different. While waiting in line, every little thing becomes beautiful. Paper stars on the roof of hospital waiting rooms, wet sleeves running to get more groceries, dirty dive bar bathrooms covered in stickers, hooting and hollering. Everyone says they'll collect things like the best-smelling page on an old book or take a photo every time they almost peed themselves. But usually, they forget. It would be impossible for the vessel to learn new things every day and hold the knowledge of the soul before. So much energy is used to seal the stardust and the songs and the light to the flesh, and so the great forgetting is a necessary evil. Evil because where there are gaps of knowledge, there's opportunities for the seeds of mucky garbage decay to fester and spread. You are easily convinced the fantasies of ego are correct when you forget yourself. Easily damaged and led off path at the whims of other lost souls, screaming of a false certainty. The good news is, it's not hard to remember. There are reminders hidden everywhere. The deep, sunset comfort sitting in your core when you make the right choice. The state in between dreams, where your subconscious explodes desires of the primal into static morning air. The child walking around your mind palace, who only gets excited at the sight of green things. Connect to it. Interlace it firmly in your hands. And remember, you'll never truly know until the end anyway. And maybe there are exceptions. And maybe this is our 76th exception. In which case, I'd love to consider it instead of shaking my head in embarrassment when the 77th tape of my snot-nosed begging is replayed to the viewing party. It's not perfect. No system is. But as I said, I'll consider it. What are you going to do with $1 million?
سيداتي سادتي، اليوم هي نشرة الأخبار. أتمنى أنكم جميعا بخير. اليوم الشمس ساطعة والثلوج ساقطة، كل شيء أبيض، والرياح كبيرة جدا، والعصافير تزقزق، وكل شيء أصفر ما شاء الله تبارك الرحمن. هذه كانت الأجواء اليوم. طقس كما ترون سيداتي سادتي.
Wait, what?
Yeah.